Research on goal priming has shown that cues in the environment can lead to goal-directed behavior without the need for conscious intentions. This has sparked an interest in using goal priming as an intervention tool that can strategically influence behavior in line with a person's long-term goals. So what does that mean for us? Stay tuned to find out.
The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to Rat Race Reboot. I'm your host, Laura Noel. And as a certified coach and former 27-year military leader, each week I provide bite-sized mindset pivots that will help you reset your mind, reawaken your spirit, and regain your control.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. Today we are talking about the unconscious mind and maybe letting that drive for a while, particularly when we're in the midst of the holiday season. We're in that hypnotic grind of party after party and sugar cookies and sugar dumplings and all of that stuff. But what do the masses normally do during the holiday season when it comes to pursuing their vision, their goals? Well, typically, and I know that I did this in the past, was we say, I need a break. I've been working so hard. It's the holiday season. I have all this time off. Well, we fill our time off with traveling and visiting and going to parties, which they're not bad things. But, we put our dreams and desires on the back burner. And then typically we wait until January, the new year, to start thinking about those things again. And that puts us behind in terms of getting a solid start to the year. That's what the masses are doing. But if you really want to do something extraordinary with your life, you don't want to do what the masses are doing. You want to do the opposite. Now, I know you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I work so hard. I deserve this time off. When do I get a break? But hey, if you feel like you need a vacation from your life, then we need to talk. You need to listen to some more episodes. Go back to episode 1 and let me help you get in alignment. This isn't about work-life balance. It's about work-life integration. So you don't need a vacation from your life. And creating a life like that is possible. But it starts with you first entertaining the idea that it's possible. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm not going to ask you to do a bunch of extra things during this holiday season. I'm not going to pop that on your calendar right now, right? But I want to ask you to consider leveraging the powerful part of your mind, the unconscious part of our mind that is governing our habitual behaviors and doing it kind of under the surface. We don't even realize it's happening. And there's been a lot of studies on this goal priming idea. And goal priming is when you activate your goal by the way that you set up your external surroundings and your environment such that external cues motivate you to act in a way that's in alignment with your goal unconsciously. So you're not doing extra work to make this happen. So I'm going to read a couple of examples here because there have been several experiments in this context and on this subject. So recent work has shown that seeing or consuming healthy foods can reduce subsequent unhealthy eating, mostly among dieters. So similarly, viewing dieting advertisements while snacking compared to control groups that are looking at indulgent food advertisements can prevent overeating on unhealthy foods. So priming with food advertisements can also increase snack consumption and intake. So when we think about functional health claims on attractive foods can activate a health goal and therefore reduce unhealthy food consumption. So this is all kind of in an experimental way. But goal priming works by directing attention to information that is congruent with your long-term goal. And so the cues are exposing us to these ideas, activating our goal, and pulling us away from things that might be giving us that short-term kind of boost, those hedonic kind of goals, right? So we're already being primed if you think about it. So if you think about priming our minds to activate goals through our external surroundings, a few ways that we can do that is by thinking, visualizing about our goal, maybe first thing in the morning. I always say set up time for yourself to think about your goal. What do I want? Pose the question, right? But then setting up external cues around your surroundings, around your house, like images of your goal, the thing that you desire, images of you being healthy, if your health is a priority for you, or the home, or some business goals, some affirmations, having Post-it notes around the house, getting emotionally connected to those ideas, affirmations, visualizing daily, dressing like the person you want to become right now. So one thing that I do that primes me to the vision of my goal is I say some affirmations in the morning. I say my goal out loud, and then I say, I will act as such. I will act as that. I am worthy of that, and I am that. And that primes me for the day when I'm making decisions about my calendar and the things that I'm going to do, or the things that I'm going to eat or consume, whether it's consumption in terms of what I'm watching, what I'm reading, the conversations I'm having, the interactions I'm having. I'm much more apt to choose things that are in alignment with my long-term goal versus something that I want right now. So I'm choosing things that I want most of all, rather than these things in the moment that just spark joy right now because I want the thing really fast. In a McDonald's world where we want this fast food kind of mentality toward our goals and our visions and joy, and we can become addicted to that. And then we put the things that we truly want most of all, we let them hanging off in the balance for these short wins, but then we're doing it at the expense of what we truly desire most of all. And like I said earlier, we're being primed anyway. We're being primed by social media, by having our phone in our hand constantly, by advertisements. We're bombarded by these things, right? By the things that other people say, by the news, whatever we're feeding our minds with and our environment with, those things are priming us anyway. So doesn't it make sense that we take control over what we choose to get in alignment with? Now, one thing that's really helpful with goal priming is you want to make sure that you're priming your environment as close to when you're making that decision to do one thing or the other, when you're kind of in a fork in the road and experiencing that. Should I take this path or this path? You want to prime your mind the best you can in those moments. An example of that, I do it first thing in the morning as I'm thinking about how I'm setting up my day, right? I knew somebody who was really watching their health and how they fueled their body. So one thing that they would say when they were looking at the menu would be, how would an athlete fuel their body? And just that question, it directed their attention and their behavior to healthier things on the menu that were just as delicious and wonderful, but were more in alignment with their long-term goal. You could do that when you if you have a goal, a financial goal. Maybe before you go out on a shopping spree. Okay, what do I choose to spend, and what is a wise investment? What would be a wise investment, right? So then you're choosing things that are in alignment with investment rather than being frivolous. So these are ways that you can prime yourself toward your goal. And while you're setting up these external cues in your environment, they activate your goal. And what you'll find is that you'll unconsciously make decisions that are in alignment with it. So it doesn't require extra work or extra legwork on your part. It just requires an awareness of your surroundings and an awareness of what your mind is being primed with to begin with. So I hope this helps. This is a very short and sweet episode. Be mindful of your surroundings. I'll recap here. Goal priming is a way for you to set up your environment in a way such that your long-term goal and your vision gets activated by these external cues without your conscious awareness. And it ultimately drives your behavior to act in a way that's in alignment with that vision or that goal. So it's important, one, that you get clear on your goal. That's why I always say, take time first thing in the morning before you get primed with your email or drama or all these other things that are happening outside of you. Prime your mind first by thinking about what it is you truly want to begin with. And then thinking about, all right, now that I have this clarity, I have the image of my goal in mind. How can I serve today that's in alignment with that goal? Then start to set up your environment in a way that's in alignment with that goal so that when you hit decision points in your day, whether it's to eat a healthy snack, you can prime your area in your kitchen, maybe have a bowl on the counter with healthy snacks and fruit. So it's right there in front of your face. The environment is primed. And so you don't even think about it. You unconsciously grab that apple or that granola bar, right? You're not taking extra effort to do these things, but you're setting up your space so it doesn't feel laborious. So you're unconsciously doing things that are good for you, that you want to be doing, that are helping you advance toward your vision and goal. So get clear on the goal, make sure that you're priming your environment first, and then set up places in your home wherever you most likely would be at a crossroads, or you would need to make a decision one way or the other so that the decision becomes easy. So I hope that helps. Goal priming is such a wonderful thing for you to do, particularly during the holiday season when you might be busy. And I promise you, when January rolls around, you're going to be much more prepped for the new year and to really hit the ground running because you're not starting from scratch. You're simply using your mind and your space to gain clarity and to get you unconsciously primed to do activities that are in alignment with what you want anyway. So let me know how this works for you. I want to hear from you. Go to ratracereboot.com. Leave your comments, a 5-star review. We read those each and every time you post them, and I'm so grateful. And remember, everything is created twice, particularly in this message. First in your mind and then in physical form. Use your mind wisely, and we'll see you next week.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.